pre-shuffle, Leo. Okay, I made it 2/3 through my shuffle, and usually when a card comes up at the bottom of the deck, hi! I was just telling you guys that usually when a card comes up or pops out, or usually it shows up at the bottom of the deck. And if it's the card of the sign that I'm going to do, but I haven't made it through my shuffle yet, I leave the deck because I know that it's done. In my last shuffle or my last two shuffles, whatever I have to do, I do it on... Oh, Mary Jane, thank you, I love you. You are so fierce. So yeah, the Leo card, the sun came up, vitality, life force, energy, processes of energy, photosynthesis, right? I got some leaves up here for y'all. Photosynthesis, honey. Orange represents joy, vitality, and life. I have that too. What's that? Texted Leo and she didn't text back. Do you get personal readings? I do personal readings, actually. I love doing them. There are many different personal readings that I do. I could do a 12 house reading for you. I did a bunch of those on Sunday at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery, which is at 230 East 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues. If you're in New York City, if you're in like Long Island, or if you're in Brooklyn, Staten Island, Bronx, Queens, Manhattan, Westchester, New Jersey even, the owner of the shop, you know. Anyway, come to Shanti, get a reading by me. 20 minutes, 35 bucks. Yeah. So the sun came out at the bottom of the deck. I do have to do one more round of shuffling for you guys, but this was a confirmation that it was the reading that I was supposed to do, okay? But yeah, I do that. So I've done relationship readings. So there's a spread that I do that's called like the lover spread or a relationship spread. And it has a spread for you on one side, and then it has a spread for the other person on the other side. Then it has a card that unites both of you in your energy and which you, hey. Venus and Aries, work. She's going to be there next, right? After this transit in Pisces, she's going to go into Aries, you know. The sun, by the way, you're ruled by the sun, so that's great. And it's in a sign that it's exalted in. That's even better, right? So you can take advantage of this energy, Leo. My Venus is in Leo, and you all know Dale. His sun is in Leo, and his Venus is there too. So, you know, he can definitely take advantage of this energy. You, Leo, Leo, can take advantage of this energy being in Aries right now with the sun. So what are you guys thinking about? Beginnings and endings? So this is the 10 of Swords right here while I'm still pre-shuffling the last time. I don't know why I'm still doing it, but I'm going to do it one more time because I was only supposed to do it once. But yeah, so maybe you experience some endings which are going into beginnings, and there's some creativity that has to go into it. Maybe there's something that you want to express emotionally by ways of communication to a friend or to someone that might be involved in a partnership amongst, like, you know, friends or something like that. So I'm going to shuffle it the last time, or maybe I should just do another round of 3. And just do it one more time after this, and then that'll be 3 with you guys. It doesn't matter because I'm in your energy anyway. Oh, no, it's done. It's done. It's done. You know what I was telling you at the beginning of the video? Spirit, you better work. You better work. You better work. Look, I was looking for my lip balm because this is the fierce, you know, that Vaseline coconut lip balm. Oh, it's the fiercest. I love it. So I was looking for it, and I was like, look, I ain't playing no games today. Picked something up. There it was. Anyway, the deck is shuffled. I bought some beautiful yellow roses for you guys. You're the first ones to get it in your video. Congratulations. The Strength card is coming up. So you got the Sun, and you got the Strength card, and you got something going on with something ending. These are phases ending for you. Leo, let's see. Your 7th house is Aquarius. Your 8th house is Pisces, which is talking about transformation. Absolutely. Yes, it is. It's Pisces, which is talking about transformation for you, but then it's also also talking about transformations by letting go of things and letting things just kind of like happen and going with the flow of life. Because sometimes our Leo energy, me included with my ruling planet being in Leo, we sort of like get used to things and we kind of get like stuck in that energy of things that we were used to sustaining, right? Because we're like, well, the energy was being emitted, we were producing energy there, things were being created, we could see what was happening, but then it's like, well, because you're so great at creating, move forward and create more stuff. Really, right? Because the sun has been creating things for thousands of years. As we've all been living under the sun has been giving us energy and we have just been moving forward, going on. Things have been happening. We've been evolving. The sun has been giving it. Okay? So it's time for you, Leo, to give it. Right? But it's like you've grown, you've evolved, you know a few more things than you did. You know, when Uranus was in Aries, right? A fellow fire sign of yours. Now Uranus is in Taurus, right? Which is a fellow fixed sign of yours. So now you can even tap into that energy of Uranus being, you know, the 7th house ruler of yours, the relationships, going into Taurus for you. So now that's talking about, you know, you're setting up some like lifelong boundaries. You're setting up some, you're scared that if I move forward with your creativity, you will have to divorce. Oh, honey, we gotta see what these cards are talking about. All right, you might have to come and get that relationship reading with the double spread. You guys, I think I'm going to do a special or something like that, but I'm going to introduce a series which is going to be love readings, and it's going to be called Loving Proof. I think I like it, right? Proof, Providence, Providers, Provide. Okay, right. So you might want to get that reading, and I'll contact you, you know, on IG. You know, we connected, so I'll contact you. But let me cut the deck. This is just saying that you guys are gonna you're gonna have to go about doing something in a way where you're using your best qualities, but you're not using all of your energy or all of your force, right, to make this thing happen. This is kind of like going with the flow. Wow. And like before I started this reading, I put on some music. We're listening to the internet, by the way. They're a band, you know, Melon and Poppin' band. Anyway, but I think there was something I was thinking as I was listening was like go with the flow of your heart, right? And that was what he was saying in the song. And I was just like, wow, this is really like we really are in Leo energy right now today. As I'm talking to you, I'm like it wasn't anything but Leo that I needed to do first, okay? But go with the flow of your heart, right? Adapting, right? Uranus is shaking things up. Uranus is letting things change, right? Like also, if you go with your creativity, there's abundance there, and there's risk, but there's also abundance there. You know, you're rewarded by these planets when you understand what it is that they're trying to teach you. You don't have anything right now in Leo, but you know, we did have like a Leo full moon during Aquarius season, so there might have been something going on with an Aquarius or with having to change your perspective during Aquarius season that might have shown light to you in a way, you know, that maybe there was a cycle that completed, maybe there was some level of evolution that you experienced that you could not, oh hell, talk about confirmation, right? You couldn't deny something back in February, right? January, February, during Aquarius season when we got that full moon in Leo, right? And it was critical. I think it was at like 29 degrees of Leo or something like that, which that's where my Venus is. My Venus is at like 28 degrees of Leo, 27, 28, I think. And then my Mars is at 0 degrees of Virgo. So they were conjunct where that full moon was. So you were identifying with some things that I'm dealing with Aquarius and Leo. Okay, yeah, so that's the thing. And those things sort of like they oppose each other. So there's some opposition there, right? But then within that opposition, there are some options that lie there as well. So you're looking at what your options are, but your best option would be to go with the flow of your heart. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to, this is like Beauty and the Beast, you know what I mean? Think about that story of Beauty and the Beast, right? The Beast was something that like felt like it needed to like, you know, run away from, you know, the love that Beauty was trying to give to it because it just felt like it wasn't worthy of that love, right? So you are worthy of this love of self because the sun is now in your in a fellow fire sign of yours, which is trining your energy, and it's really telling you to look at this part of yourself that recognizes what your identity is now and who you used to be. You know what I mean? You've changed. You definitely have. it's talking about status quo as well, and you've been stuck in the status quo for a while, and now you kind of want to create something out of your understanding for what it means to be in the status quo. You know what I mean? So there's something that you really want to show people that is different and that is out of the box. So the Aquarius and the Leo thing, that also has something to do with that time of year. You know what I mean? Back in the winter, you may have had some sort of like emotional epiphany about yourself when you came to a completion of something. Maybe something was revealed to you through your subconscious. You know what I mean? And it has something to do with what you think that you're made of. It's a pride thing, and it's also a positive ego thing. What you're made of, Leo. You know what I mean? You're made of a lot. You're made of energy, and that energy is meant to produce things. That energy is meant to make things. You show people what it is to be themselves, that type of thing. And you also show people what it is to reaffirm who they are and whatever it is that they do. So it really is up to you to do that as well. You help us get to that point. So then, when it's time for you to also do that thing, then we need you to do that too. What's going on? Okay, sorry. So let me lay the cards out, child, because I didn't even lay them out. I haven't even cut the deck yet. Okay. What shit? All right. Mars, you could be dealing with a Scorpio. You could be dealing with an Aries. There's some things that are changing right now, and this is the Tower. So this is saying that it's bringing in some destruction in order for you to be rebuild. What's being changed for you? Something's being changed that has to do with like desire, and that has to do with will. You know what I mean? Maybe you are going to reform. This talks about a reformation definitely after something like comes crumbling down. Or maybe this is a foundation that actually didn't work. Maybe there was something that wasn't working for you, you know what I mean? Or maybe there was something that you realized wasn't working for you. And you have to have the courage and the will to sort of like, acknowledge that. What is the declaration that you're making at this point? The Tower. So look, let me go ahead and lay some more cards down. The Tower, honey. Well, the Tower really shows us, right, what you're made of, right? So it's like when that destruction comes in, when those unexpected events come in and change things for you, right? Surprises. What do you do with that? It's kind of like something is overwhelming for you. Something is kind of like, it feels like it's like coming at you. This is like an opposing energy that is bringing about like, a purification of some sorts, right? It's like risk, opportunity, commitments, and then the awareness and the declaration of that, right? Something definitely is going to change, right? Absolutely. That there might be a little bit of a mistake or something that happens, but definitely pay attention to the red flags, right? I'm just saying that. Let me pull some more cards, because this is okay. Great. So, this is actually allowing something to happen. Letting something happen because you are ready for it to happen. There's some receptivity here. There's a willingness to create here. I was actually watching something in the middle of the night, because I always wake up around 3 a.m. And it was talking about, the stages through pregnancy, and how like everything has been determined the moment that the sperm sort of like goes into the fallopian tube. Is that what it is? And then it starts to, channel its way to the egg, and it fertilizes the egg. Once it's in there, everything has been decided. Eye color, sex, everything. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that are kind of like in the subconscious underneath the surface that have already been worked out by spirit, that are really going to come into form anyway, whether you like it or not, right? Because the threes are talking about completions. They're also talking about, waiting for things to happen, right? So this could be talking about you waiting for something to happen and not letting it happen, or not making it happen, right? It's like, because the Tower is talking about making something happen. It doesn't necessarily have to be destruction, so don't be afraid, right? But you letting something happen is putting an ending to an old way that you were doing things that may have not been working for you. Bam, change it. You know what I mean? And then the Empress is Venus. This is Mars. So there's some opposition here like I was talking about. And then, this is Taurus. Uranus is in Taurus right now. Uranus rules your house of relationships, which is ruled by Venus that represents Libra. We just had a Libra full moon at 0 degrees of Libra, and we're going to have another one at 29 degrees of Libra on like April 18th, 19th, depending on wherever you are in the world. So you definitely need to think about what it is that's trying to complete itself, and you're just kind of like sitting back waiting for something to happen, even though you feel you know what you should do, right? It's like, don't be afraid of the reaction, or don't be afraid of the response, right? You are meant to create. You are abundant, right? Because look at all of this stuff up in this picture, up in this photograph, this image, right? There's abundance all around her. She is connected to the divine feminine source, which is the high priestess, which is Venus, which is in Pisces right now. Like we said, Pisces is your 8th house. You're meant to transform. Mars rules Scorpio, and it rules Aries. So after something is torn down, that's sort of like a reformation and a rebuilding. So you're transforming that way. And then it's also talking about transforming by way of like, your spirit. Yeah. So that's calling that, it's asking you to do that. It's asking to like let go of the things that were holding you back before, because this can be easily held back because it's very impressionable. You know what I mean? This energy right here, this is like, I have all of these qualities about myself that are exemplified through me and everything that I do in my existence and what people see in me, but I'm not doing anything about it because I'm looking at other people and waiting for other people to do things that I can respond to. Why aren't you doing something that people can respond to? You know what I mean? And react to. Because you've got so many things. You've got so much fertility within your creativity. Okay? Fertile grounds, honey, come up in here. Come up into my house. Okay? That's for sure. The 3s, it's also talking about children, right? It's also talking about wanting more for children or wanting to give more. You want to give more, right? Because 3rd house is Gemini. That's Mercury. Mercury is in Pisces right now, and it's station direct. You know what I mean? So now that it's station direct, maybe the communication will clear up a little bit more. Maybe there won't be so much fog. Once we get closer to the middle end of April, then we're gonna have that second. Yes, I do want to give, do, and be more. Yeah, absolutely. And it's talking about relationships, right? It's relationships all around. Venus, Aphrodite, is Eros's mother. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like Venus and Mercury are connected in that way. That's why Venus or Libra and Pisces both have that relationship with Venus, right? Venus is exalted in Pisces, and she rules Libra. It's just interesting that Mercury was in Pisces when we had the full moon in Libra the first time, and it's still going to be in Pisces when we have it the second time. So there's some Venus is going running through this energy right now that we're dealing with, and she's very present in your reading. It's amazing. You know what? It really is. You just have to really step into that feminine energy of creation, right? And knowing what it is that you're doing with what you're doing. Right? You know what it is to be, what's to be expected from this, because she knows what's to be expected from this, right? And this is kind of like awaiting a celebration of sorts, right? Because it's a 3. And then we get into that 4 energy. It's bringing about a new reality of stability, new stability that becomes our reality. Yeah? That's what you want. You want more stability. You want a new reality that is going to be a firm foundation that you can stand on. And here's a foundation that doesn't work anymore, right? Okay, a card just kind of fell out, or something showing itself, right? The best businesswoman in the deck, right? Hey, Leo sun, you better work. Your card just popped out as you were like, Leo sun here. I'm like, whoa. Okay, your energy is present. You're here. So what is this? What is this business deal? You need to do this. This is not okay. It's not okay for you guys to be feeling like you can't make a move forward on something. It's you. Don't let nobody try to stop you from being great. Moving on. Right. And you ain't, listen now, this was your reading, okay? The sun came out, the spring card came out, we got the yellow cards up here with Ocean, and popped up in the reading with the yellow one. Happiness, honey, this is gonna be happiness for you, right? Crossing you. I told you your intuition, right? Look at the water. It's flowing. It's flowing. Wait, it's flowing. My depth perception right now. It's flowing, you guys. You're opening yourself up to the possibilities, right? Because this is possibilities, right? Jupiter, the Wheel of Fortune is a 10, right? But 10 is 1. So the aces are like Wheel of Fortune energy. They're also Mercury energy, right? It's Jupiter and it's Mercury. Or, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's giving you that. There's travel here. There's hope in moving forward in the expansion, right? So when you get to this point of opportunity, yeah, you have a risk to take, but then as you move forward and you make those choices to create things and bring about more stability for yourself and understanding what it is that you were meant to do in the first place, then you can really celebrate what it is that you're doing, and you can move forward feeling a sense of victory for yourself. And then you're going to feel more encouraged. You're going to be feeling strong. I'm going through the numbers here. And then as you're feeling strong, you're going to be able to get more out of life. You're going to be able to provide more to other people, right? And then when you do that, then that means that there are possibilities. You've reached this point of now you have options. Now you have choices. Now you have all this possibility with the 10, right? Opportunity, risk. So yeah, you know, this is an opportunity to bring about more emotional fulfillment in your life, right? Because of what you know, right? It's kind of like the aces are a gift from the divine, which is from you know, as above, and so below is you receiving that thing. So once that thing happens and it comes down to you and you receive it and you acknowledge it, what you do with the rest of it is up to you. You know what I mean? You could just sit up here and acknowledge it and let it be a 1. You know, or you could turn it into something more, because this is your subconscious. These are your dreams. This is, you know, your spirituality. It's also, you know, just kind of like your intuition as well. You know what it is that this is telling you, right? I think. For sure. And it's knowing, you know, where the opportunities lie within the situation, right? Bam, the awareness, just like that light bulb turned on. And you know, there's a dove here in the photo, which doves are representative of Venus as well. So there's feminine energy going on here that's opposing this Mars energy here. You got Venus, you got water, right? That's the moon too. You know, that could be talking about that full moon that's coming up in Libra, the second one on the 29th, which is closing out cycles, right? Then the full moon is going to go into Scorpio, or then after the full moon at 29 degrees of Libra, it's going to go into Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, which is talking about transformation. So you guys are going to understand what that transformation is going to mean. I mean, I don't think you have the Hangman anywhere in this reading, but maybe you have, you know, you'll have a Neptunian card. So let's go ahead and flip over what was going on in the past for you. Okay, in the past, you may have dealt with some children, right? You may have dealt with, you know, a new phase coming in that you were excited and enthusiastic about, some changes, you know, that were coming in that you knew that you were going to have to like work on, right? But you know, you were excited about it. This is kind of like being up for the challenge, being up for almost any challenge, but knowing that there was going to be a challenge and it wasn't going to be easy. You knew that something wasn't going to be easy in the past. You might have even been dealing with, like, you know, a younger person, or you might have been feeling like, you know, you didn't know enough about a situation to act on it, and now you probably do. Now you're just waiting, right? This is kind of you going out, right, looking for something, opportunity, adventure, trying to see what you could get involved with and get it into its beginning stages, right, in its first steps, something that you want to see gradually improve or gradually get stronger, right? This is a lot of potential too. So you see the potential in something and you really want it to like shift over into the energy of not just having potential, right, but being probable. Yeah. You know, and you could even be dealing with like, there might be something that you have to invest money into as well, because the pages are ruled by Saturn, right? And Saturn is talking about success. It's talking about money. It's talking about building things. So you are really looking forward into the horizons of building something. You see the potential for growth in a situation, right? Definitely. And you're very smart about it. You know what I mean? You just have to be careful not to be you know, in your face, too assertive, too like, you know, authoritarian. And you're not, because it's the Page of Rods here, right? But the Page of Rods could almost kind of like feel like that, because he has a feather in his hat, right? So it's kind of like, be careful, like how you, what you say, I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your sun position, right? Which is what rules your reading, Leo. Ah, here we go. Page of Swords. There we go. So these are communications. This is like you needing to like talk your way through a situation so that you can figure out a little bit more about it, right? So that you can learn a little bit more about the scenario, about the circumstances, right? This is you honoring your intellect and honoring what you don't know. You know what I mean? By asking questions. That's also how you honor your intellect as well, right? And this is learning by way of communicating. Yeah. And this is kind of like you definitely being very enthusiastic. This could be also you being naive in your way of thinking, right? And this could be you were naive in the past about the way that you wanted to begin something or do something. But now it's just kind of like you might be just a little bit naive in the way that you are processing things, right? Processing information, processing the way that people speak to you, what they say, what you might be understanding. Yeah. This could be you going over things in your head a little bit and maybe not coming up with the right answers because you are a little bit unclear of some things, right? You need to realize, or you need to be shown, you need to see what is real, right? You need to know the truth about something as well. And it's not really like I need to know the truth because I've been lied to. It's you need to know the truth because you just need to, so that you make the right choices, right? Because the swords are talking about making choices and making decisions, right? Also doing the right thing, right? Because the Page of Swords wants to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Okay, you got two pages here, so this could be talking about two kids, right? I don't know. It could be. Or just two situations that might be in their beginning stages. Okay? And these are two elements that work together. Right? These are sextile elements. You got air and you got fire. So there's energy that can be created here. You know what I mean? You can there's acceleration, right? From this energy. Right? So the Page of Swords and the Page of Rods are kind of like putting that energy together, right? So that you can create whatever it is that the universe is bringing to you as this Ace of Cups, right? Yeah, creativity. You need these two elements to create things, for sure. So now let's look at the moon position, okay? Right, the moon position. You're having, this is like moon and Capricorn, or like, you know, Saturn being in Cancer or something like that. So this is kind of like, the fours are talking about stability. They're talking about financial stability, right? And it's talking about the need to save, or it's talking about, the need to kind of like be more in control of your finances, or be more in control of like your family, because this is home and family too, because the fours are ruled by Aries, but the fourth house is Cancer, right? So that's talking about home and family. And it's talking about what declarations you're making in terms of home and family, right? It talks about security for the home and family, money, investments, properties, that type of thing. And this is kind of like you being aware of what it's going to take for you to create more for yourself, right? But this is like you don't want to just get stuck in like, the work of everything, right? You don't want to become a slave, right? So you want to have a level of control to you when it comes to like how you deal with money and how you crave money as well. Because sometimes the crave for money could be controlling you, and it could be blocking you out from other things that you need to do, right? Because it's probably like what's more spiritually ordained for you, right? Because this is very external. This is kind of like you having some feelings about, the external material world, right? The substance. This could even be you like feeling like you are, you're in a position to where you have the money, so you want to be able to do what you want to do with it, right? That type of thing as well. You're hooked on an Aries. Okay, well, this could be saying that you are hooked on an Aries because it's a four swords related to the Emperor, and Pentacles do have to do with physicality and the physical body as well. So this could be you not want to let somebody go, or this could also be hooked on somebody's You know what I mean? Because it's Capricorn, so it's talking about unhealthy codependencies and attachments to things, right? And this could be an unhealthy emotional attachment that you have to an Aries or a Mars ruled sign, because this is Sun in Capricorn. So some of you guys could be dealing with a Capricorn, or some of you guys could be dealing with somebody that you work with. You feel the same? Right. So this 4, this is also related to where we are right now, with the sun being in Aries, right? And Capricorn can benefit from that energy as well, because it's all Mars. There's a Mars connection between Scorpio, Aries, and Capricorn. All right, Leo moon, cool. My moon always almost wanted to be in Leo. It's at 29 degrees of Cancer. So now we can elaborate more on the 4 of Pentacles, because the moon position in this spread usually always relates to what's going on in the anxieties, okay, and disappointment. So let's look at it. Knight of Pentacles. So you have some anxieties in terms of like you're intimidated by a situation and how it's going to move forward and how it's going to progress. The Knights are ruled by the Chariot, so it really is talking about a victory and wanting to feel successful in terms of like something that you want to produce. You are very motivated and you understand the work and the time and the effort that it's going to take to put into this, and you also understand that you're going to have to look for help. You know what I mean? This is almost kind of like wondering like how you're going to hire help, and wondering if you are going to be able to pay the money to have the assistance, right? That type of thing. I'm getting like paperwork as well from like the Knight of Pentacles, and then the moon position having the 4 of Pentacles here. Some of you could have some anxieties about processing some paperwork, understanding some data, getting some numbers in order, that type of thing. It also has to do with the routine and the everyday routine. With this being Virgo, it's talking about adapting to changes, right? And you might have to adapt to some financial changes if you do go about this thing that you want to do, that you want to create, that you want to produce. You see the opportunity in it. You see how you can manifest it into something that will be emotionally fulfilling for you. But it's like you just might be intimidated by the processes of it all. What it's going to take to do it, how long it's going to take to do it, right? Staying encouraged within the whole journey, the thing within the long scenario, you know what I mean, moving forward, being disciplined, because it really is talking about you're gonna have to be disciplined, right? You have anxieties about the discipline, right? How disciplined you will actually be able to be in terms of that, right? You also are you worried about money coming in, for sure, because like the Knight of Pentacles, he's like bringing in the money, right? So this could be you feeling like your money is going to change, like the amount of money that you're bringing into the home, right, for the family is going to change. You have some anxieties about that, of being able to provide more or being able to sustain what you already have been doing, the consistency, because Virgo does rule sustaining and consistency by way of practicing, right? Practicing healthy monetary financial habits, right? Because this moon position right here has to do with changes, evolution, cycles, and then the 4 of Pentacles has to do with maintaining a healthy financial habit. Money, and also talking about just habitual things that you always do that might cost money, right? And you may have anxieties that you want to be able to do the same things that you always have been doing, right? There's an evolution that's going to have to take place in terms of that. What you might be like holding on to that you don't really need to. Do you really need to go shopping every week when you get paid? Do you really need to get your hair done every week? You can get it done every 2 weeks, or you can get it done every 3 weeks. It's like kind of pushing it. But Libra, Venus and Leo here. Look. But yeah, anxieties about the money. Don't worry about that. Because you got this Empress right here. This is abundance. It's reasserting it for you. It's saying that it's there, and if it's not, it's going to come to you. You know what I mean? And the Ace of Cups do have to talk about truth, baby. They definitely do. Because it's like the focus of something. The truth that you're receiving from the universe and from the divine. Wow. She's receptive. This cup is receptive. Let it happen. Don't get stuck in your emotions and the way you feel about it, right? And don't let yourself get stuck in the fear, right? The moon does talk about your fears and exposing yourself to your fears by way of your subconscious. Because when you fear something, that's usually your subconscious coming. It's either a fight or flight situation, or it's something that you really don't want to face, right? Because there's a card peeking out, and I'm going to show it to you, and it's related to you, right? The 5th house is Leo. Right? This is Mars in Scorpio. Scorpio basically squares Leo, right? This is talking about you feeling like a loss, right, of creativity, and not understanding the choice that you're going to have to make in terms of like moving forward past like not seeing your way out of something. You know what I mean? This is talking about taking the good with the bad. This is kind of like understanding that this is a detoxification process for some of you, whatever it is, right? Because that Ten of Swords did come up in the beginning and the pre-shuffle when I was just splitting the deck and shuffling, right? So there's some endings that have happened, and it's all because, you needed to purification, right? And I talked about Scorpio being purification through Mars, and also Aries through destruction being purification through Mars. You know what I mean? Also, Saturn also is Capricorn, and that's an Earth sign that's ruled, that has a Mars exaltation, right? So when you start to change structures that Saturn built up by Mars destroying them, that's talking about, karma, and it's talking about time as well. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and continue. Could you guys like the video? I know most of you have, which is good. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys being here. I really do. So now I did all that talk about Mars. Let's see what's in the Mars position. Leo. Another 4. Yes. In the Mars position, you got square energy. There's some opposition. There's some square energy. So the moon, right, is directly opposing the the sun position, right? The moon position. The moon position is directly opposing the Mars position here, because in the Mars position, it's almost like, Mars is your aggression, your will, what you want to do. It's also the force. It's the energy that you put behind your thrust, right? What you do. It's who you are. It's your identity as well. So this is a card that goes well in this position just because it is a 4 and it's ruled by the Emperor. But then it's kind of like there's some mixed messages. There's some mixed feelings. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to make of your feelings, right? It's like the awareness of, the conflict of what, it means to create new foundations, right? That's what it is. It's the new foundations being created. And the universe is giving you this, right? By way of you understanding your intuition and your subconscious and your dreams and what you ask for and what you want. It's like, well, here's how this thing is going to happen. It's not going to be a direct line. You're going to have to go through all of these ways, or you just go through a couple more ways to get to where you're going. Nothing is ever a direct route, you guys. You might have to go here, 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 over here, up, down, underneath, and then get there. You know what I mean? So you being like, well, I don't want it that way. I don't want it like that. You know what I mean? I'm looking at something over here that I've been trying to create, right? A cycle, evolution. Well, this 3 is saying, like, that's closed now, honey. Now I'm going to give you this other cup so that you can stand firm on this other foundation so that you can see who you really are from what you have created, that you know. You know what I mean? You can take it with you. Well, this is saying you can't take it with you, right? And this is also kind of like you hiding something. It's hiding your will, hiding, what you desire and what you want to do. Because, you have to think about Moon and Cancer. They protect themselves emotionally. They put up a shell, and Saturn definitely talks about skeleton, and it talks about the skin as well. So, the skin is also a shell that we sort of like walk around in, and we dress it up. We protect ourselves, it protects everything on the inside. So I feel like you are trying to protect a part of you that doesn't want to be hurt by something. You know what I mean? By the truth about something, or about the truth about how you feel, about the truth about what is actually real now. You know what I mean? Or what is going to be real for you. That type of thing. Right. It's like you're hiding. Exactly. Look, you're hiding from yourself, and you're hiding from your own emotions. Look at how he's trying to camouflage himself, or herself, itself. Right. Oh, well, if I get under here like this, then they won't really see me, and I don't want to accept that anyway. So I'm just gonna hang out here and look and see what my subconscious and what the moon is telling me. But I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna take it. And you not taking it is you not allowing yourself to begin again, and you not allowing yourself to exist the way that you were meant to be, right? Because the Aries, the 4s talk about being something, and this talks about being emotionally secure, right? Being emotionally secure. And this is talking about being emotionally secure because you are financially secure, right? But then it's like, what does financial security mean to you? Is financial security $20,000? Is it $5,000 in the bank? Is it having $2.5 million in the bank? Is it having $900,000 in the bank and then having like 3.5 million in investments? What is it to you? You know what I mean? It really is how you see it. It really is what you exist as and how you declare yourself. What do you want to be? What do you want to be? You know what I mean? Be that thing, and don't let yourself be uh, uh, don't close off things from yourself. You know what I mean? Because this person is holding on to something, right? That has been constant, right? That wall. They're definitely not letting something come to them. They're holding on to shit that they've already had. You know what I mean? Oh, there's value in this, yes, but there might be value in things behind that wall too. Okay, you want to wear the same clothes that you've been wearing for 15 years. Okay, you know what I mean? I talked about clothes and skin, right? And this is saying, also that too, don't do it the same way you've already been doing. There's more emotional abundance coming your way if you just let it. Ooh, let it, honey. Okay, let's look at this Venus position. And I have a card from the Romance Angels Oracle deck that I'm gonna pull. I have a card that flipped out from the Runes deck that I'm gonna pull, and then I'm gonna pull another one from the top because usually when that happens, I let it be a bonus. And then I have a card from the Chicoli Oracle deck, and I might pull a card from the Archangel Power Tarot deck for you guys. So now let's look at the Venus position, which is talking about your relationships, your pleasures, right? It's talking about money. It's talking about, just relationships, marriage, contracts, that type of thing. All right. Mercury in Aquarius. Mercury is exalted in Aquarius. So, some new information is going to change your perspective in a situation, and it's going to make you realize what you might have to do in order to like keep your dignity, maybe, right? You're trying to keep your dignity in a situation. Also, you're moving away from something. You're moving away from a past experience that you may have felt like was a little bit conflicting for you. You know what I mean? There was a little bit of severity in the mind and what you were thinking and allowing yourself to think, and what you were making other people think and what other people were making you think. There was a little bit of there was something petty in the past with relationships, and it was just understanding, and it was just your mind, maybe like something going on in your mind. But you're moving past that. You've moved past that. You got the Six of Swords in the Venus position. It's a six ruled by the lovers, which is Mercury, and it could be looked at as being Venus. And in the Venus position, you got a card talking about that. So this is moving on. This is broadening your perspective, understanding that something that you learned because it's Mercury, right? Information that you have now, you're moving forward with that information, and you're forgiving the past conflict experience that you may have had, right? Or the circumstances surrounding a conflict that was from the past, right? It's almost like you're allowing yourself to escape from a situation that may have been like psychologically toxic for you, or like mentally toxic for some of you Leos out there. This is Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Sun in 5th house, okay? So, yes, you definitely are moving on to calmer waters in your relationships, right? Once you do talk about this thing, right? Because there's more for you to learn. You just have to understand what it is going to take for you to evolve emotionally, and, let go of some things that have been constant in your life, because you want to let go of the things that are old. You know what I mean? Are you wearing a Casio watch, or are you wearing, a different type of watch? A Movada. And it's not talking about luxury, it's just talking about updating things. And the Ace of Cups definitely talk about updating things, right? Update. And then the pages, they talk about, making something better. You know what I mean? Improving something that already is worth the improvement. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, I guess I can try to like clean this off and dust it off and make something. It's like it's already cleaned off, it's ready to go. You just need to like give it some experience. So there's a lack of experience here in the information situation that you might have, and there's a lack of experience in like you understanding what you need to do, right? But you're learning what it is that you need to do and what you need to understand. And once you kind of figure out what it is you need to understand, then you're going to be able to relate to the situation in a different way, and it's going to let you move forward, and you're going to be able to stand firm in your new perspective, because this is a new perspective for sure. And it's Aquarius, so it's in a very mature place, right? And it's not the 5. That's not a great Aquarius place. That's Venus in Aquarius, and she doesn't, and it was uncomfortable. So now you're going into a place of more comfort for you, right? There's going to be a better understanding of things. There's compassion. There's also, this is Mercury. Mercury is in Pisces right now, and you know, we're thinking about moving on to calmer waters after Mercury retrograde. So, like I was saying, things are going to be cleared up now for you, and communication might pick up again, but in a moving forward. You know what I mean? I think that you can find some calm and some solace within knowing that things will get better, communication will get better, the information that you are looking for, you're going to start receiving that information, and I think that someone, if not something, will start to come around, whatever that is. All right, so now it's time to look at the future cards, which you have the outcome and the energy moving forward, and then we have the past being the Page of Rods, the present being the Empress, and the Ace of Cups, which is great. You're receiving this information, and receive it. And then in the future, we have a card. And then, the energy that you are moving into, right? What's rising, the ascendant placement in this reading is what I'm going to flip over next. And lastly, so let's look at the future. A decision that you have to make. Didn't I talk about the first full moon in Libra and the second full moon in Libra? The moon in Libra is the Two of Swords, and I was talking about opposition and options and having to choose something. Well, in the future, you're going to make a decision, right, that you've been going back and forth on, because this is talking about teeter-tottering on making a decision, right? And it's talking about an emotional evolution, right, that has prompted you to want to make this decision and make this choice. This choice might create some opposition, but isn't that what opposing energy does, right? Because it's talking about Aries season, but it's talking about Libra moon, right? And the Libra, in terms of Aries, is showing you Aries, right? That fire energy. The sun is exalted there, it's there now. It's saying that I am too. I'm the other side of the coin. So you have to consider two variables here, right? What's most important for you? That's also what you want to think about. What's the important thing here? Because this is like a baby justice card. This is like what I was talking about, how the pages and then the knights and the queens and the kings. Well, this is kind of like before she becomes or he becomes, they become a page of swords. They have to make a decision that they, of understanding something, right? So you're definitely trying to bring more clarity into a decision, or bring more clarity into something that's going to, clear up some of the fog in your mind, right? You'll be able to understand what a situation really is for you once you make a decision, right? Or once you choose to talk to someone else. And it is talking about trying to bring balance to your mind, right? Also to your emotions. Yeah, doing that. So now let's look at the energy moving forward, okay? Oh, another 2. This is kind of fierce. Because in the sun position in your reading, Leo, we've got the Page of Swords. In the future, we have the Two of Swords. Then in the Page of Rods, that's in the past. And in the future, you've got the Two of Rods. So there's some energy that you're going to be like generating in terms of making a choice about something. You're looking at the past you, you're looking at the you now, and you're making some decisions moving forward. And it really has to do with like a dignified thing, right? Because the Page of, or the Two of Rods, he has a feather in his hat. That's very dignified. And then also the Page of Rods has a feather in his hat, dignified. Okay? And then the Page of Swords has a really fancy little a plume there. and his. So there's, there's something to learn. There's decisions to be made. There's some psychological processes that need to complete themselves, right, with these twos being here. Once you make this decision with the Two of Swords, you're going to come into a formation, into a realization of what is being formed for you, right? Because once you make this choice, then wow, the choice has been made. There's the third sword. And now you have a greater understanding. You've learned something that now you can relate to your situation, right? The Three of Swords doesn't always have to be bad, right? But the Three of Swords does come after someone has made a choice about something, right? That has sealed the deal. Okay. And then, the Two of Rods here is talking about making bold plans, making these decisions, right? It could be you and someone else making bold plans together about how to move forward and doing something, into how to create something. Because this is Mars and Aries, right? We're talking about Aries. We're talking about Mars. This is kind of like you understanding what it is that you need to do, what you want to do, what you have become, what you want to become, right? What you always have been. It's a beautiful card, right? Agreeing, trying to compromise, right? Goals, goal-oriented. This is goal-oriented, right? You're definitely going to be goal-oriented moving into the future and making decisions based on what you want to, do, create, what you want to reach, higher heights. Now let's look at the Ascendant card, which is, the energy that you're moving into, which you don't know yet. That's exciting. Yes! Come on! Come on. Okay. Good form. If you haven't listened to Good Form today, go and listen to it. I said today. Okay, so what you have moving into the future is luck, opportunity, passion for the opportunity and the luck. You have a cycle completing, right? Because you got that Ten of Swords at the beginning, right? And you got this Ace of Cups. And I talked about the Wheel of Fortune and it having a relationship to the aces, right? And the beginnings. Because the tens are bringing you completions, but then that completion brings you a new beginning, right? And then, your fifth house is actually Sagittarius. And that's talking about, that's ruled by the sun. That's the Leo energy, right? And you got Sagittarius as your energy moving forward, which you don't know yet. Opportunity coming your way. Somebody's going to present you with something that you're going to be into, that you're going to want to take advantage of that opportunity because, it's going to bring you about some more emotional abundance, right? You feel like something was meant for you, right? For sure. Let me let you look at this card, honey. Bam. The Wheel of Fortune. Just know, what opportunities to take advantage of. Know the right questions to ask, too. Because this Page of Swords here is in the Sun position. So if this opportunity comes to you, and something like opens up for you, or you feel like, whoa, now I'm riding a wave of like acceleration in terms of something, ask the right questions. Okay? Know what to do next. Be smart about your money and how you invest. And ask for what you're worth, for sure. Don't be intimidated by the challenges of what you're going to have to do, make, or produce. Okay? Let's pull out your bonus cards now. So the first one that came out from the Runes deck is Issa. And that's amazing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Issa is basically ice. And it's intuition. And it's going with your intuition, right? Trusting that intuition. There's wisdom within your intuition. This is your intuition in the reading from this Morgan Grid Tarot deck. Okay? This is also intuition too. See that fountain of water there? So you got 3 cards that talk about intuition here. For sure. Okay? So listen to that. Go with your gut in a situation. It's meant for you to understand more about yourself. So now let me pull out the other card for some of you because that message was meant for somebody. Manners. This talks about, going with the flow, definitely, and understanding that, you wear many faces, and that you can achieve a lot when you allow yourself to open up to everyone and everything and be inspired, divinely inspired. This is you also walking in your truth as well of, your diverse and complex being. This is you finding balance in your existence and in with the universe, showing you what it is that you need to do and inspiring you in the best way. This is you make things work. You know what I mean? Figuring it out. You know, explorative energy, right? This is like a dance. It's working. Something's gonna work. Make this choice. Do what you do. Do it. You know what I mean? Let this happen. There's something that's coming towards you, right? Something is coming towards you. You got the wheel of fortune in the position that's coming towards you as something coming towards you. The Ace of Cups. Here you go, coming towards you. Okay, yeah, here we go. At the bottom, you got counters, right? I always think of Conan O'Brien when I look at this or say that. And this is talking about fire, right? And I was talking about that. Here, it relates to the tower, which is Mars energy, fire, destruction, and creation. But then in this sense, it's talking about creation. What are you going to do with the fire and the flame from this torch? What are you going to light? Are you going to light this other beacon? This is a beacon of light, right? This is saying that, like, there's opportunity, there's will, there's strength of will here. And it's like, your energy and the fire and the passion that you have inside of you is a tool. It's a spiritual tool, right? It's showing you use this, make this work because you can. You have it. The spirit is there in you. You have. Let's see what the Chicoli Oracle is talking about. This is a weird card, but it does mean victory. Okay, and I talked about victory too in this reading with something. I forget what it was, but oh, maybe the threes and the cycles closing being the victory, and also the Six of Swords being a victory here moving forward from a psychological process that might have been plaguing your mind. But this is victory. You know what I mean? But understand in the victory, right? Don't other people don't have to get hurt, right? You don't have to bruise anyone's spirit or bruise anyone's anything, but this does represent victory. So, how are you going about your victory? Are you doing it in the right way? It's like don't cut any corners. Also, this is like don't make anyone pay for something that they shouldn't have to pay for. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about monetarily. Maybe it's coming out. Maybe don't make somebody pay for something they don't have to pay for. You know what I mean? Because you do have the Knight of Pentacles and your anxieties, and this is somebody coming in to help you with something, and you having anxieties about that. Thinking, I need you to help me with this. Be of service, and then them really just trying to like help you in a different way, but you want them to help you in some other kind of way. But then this card also talks about not really don't be the Veruca Salt. You know what I mean? And just start slaying people for no reason. Right? Oh yeah, and also on the other side at the bottom of this, I think this is like what is this? This is an adventure. I forget what this is. Let me look at what this one is because this is I don't really get this card a lot. Okay. Rescue. Help is on the way. You may not have consciously called for it, right? The Ace of Cups. Or the Six of Wands, right? Helping on the way. Help is 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 on the way. You know what I mean? So it says you may not have consciously called for it, but nevertheless, the universe is sending you some assistance. If you have been hoping for the rescue, boost that signal now, or boost that, sorry. If you have been hoping for rescue, boost that signal now so it knows exactly where and knows exactly where to find you. Let friends and family know you're welcome. You welcome their participation and their ideas. If you are in over your head with a project or problem, let people who are more skilled help you. There's no shame in accepting what people sincerely want to give, okay? And the light part of the situation is pay it forward. You know, who needs your help? And the dark side of it is beware of pushy interference. Push back as needed. Okay? So that was a good one. I like it when it says, you know, let friends and family help you. Let friends and family know you welcome their participation and their ideas. And this is what that resonates with as well, because the sixes are ruled by the lovers. That's friends and family, right? Participation, you know. Um, it's also, you know, just cheering each other on. This is someone definitely helping you moving forward. This is encouragement, right? Because this is a trusted friend as well, allowing you to see that you can move forward in a situation. Yeah, and this is you taking that advice from someone that you relate to. Venus, it's the Venus position, right? You really confide in this person too. It could be an Aquarius, or it could be a Gemini or a Virgo, you know, because you have Gemini energy here, you have Gemini energy here in the future. You have Virgo energy here. This is definitely Virgo. And you have Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo here. But this definitely is Capricorn energy too. And this is, you know, Mercury and Aquarius. So it could be, like I said, a Gemini, Virgo, or an Aquarius. Um, yes. I think that's it for those two. So the Romance Angels Oracle, for any of you guys out there looking for romance or something, trying to figure something out in y'all relationship, playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit to shine. I think I said this in like the Leo reading or like the Scorpio reading or something. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith, baby. They don't say baby, but I said that. So you need to trust in this situation that everything is going to work out. You know what I mean? Because it really is. If you're trying to manifest something, then having negative thought processes about what it is that you're manifesting is getting in the way, right? That's not okay. That's like being pregnant and drinking. You're getting in the way of what's being created. Stop. You know, so it's like if you continue to add negative thoughts because you don't trust that a situation is going to turn out the way that you want it to, then now you are underestimating spirit and you're disrespecting, you know, the possibilities, you know, you're disrespecting like kind of a little bit in some kind of way. You're disrespecting like the hope. Don't do that. Don't be disrespecting your hope, honey. Right? So trust that a situation can work out for you, and it will. You know, it's what you put into it. You know that. You know that. You're a Leo. Okay? It is what you put into it, right? The energy. So I am going to pull a card from here for you guys. The Sun card has been popping out from this deck for so long. Ow. Didn't I talk about, you know, your heart? Because you got the Sun card in the pre-shuffle before I even started the reading that let me know that this was your reading. And then, you know, the Strength card came out and I was talking about your heart. You got the Six of Swords here. You got Venus here as the Empress. Then you got the Ace of Cups there. The Lovers. So Leo. What's going on? The sixes are talking about harmony. It's talking about compassion. It's talking about cohesiveness as well. It's talking about a greater understanding for a larger purpose, a greater purpose. It's talking about significance, right? Significance within a group or significance with someone else. What is your significance, right? Understanding your significance. What do you signify? What do you symbolize, right? Because the sixes do talk about symbolism too, right? And when something reaches a point of symbolism, that's sort of like something being closed, latched. There's an understanding for something. 3, 6, and 9, right? So, once you reach that point, that's great. That's coming after the conflict, right? So this card is talking about making choices from your heart, Leo, which you know how to do, right? As long as it's coming from that place, the right place, rightful place, the righteous place, not self righteous, the righteous place. Deeply emotional commitments and the power of love. Definitely. The power of your heart, the power of your spirit, and the power of you, what you know is really right. You know? And that's what allows you to act in such a, in such an authentic way. Because the sixes do talk about authenticity as well. The sixth house is Virgo, right? The sixth month is June. That's Gemini. That's the lovers, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is making something being more consistent, routine, motivation, that type of thing. You definitely need to rekindle some love and some love within a relationship. Um, that's what I'm getting from this card as well. Um, it is related to water energy too. It's Mercury. Mercury's in Pisces right now. This is saying that, yeah, once now that Mercury is stationed direct, once it starts to move forward and goes direct more, then we have that energy. You can go ahead with it. You know what I mean? Because you might have been worried about some contracts or some bonds, not bonds, contracts, or like, some information, some paperwork, all of that stuff. Anyway, Leo, I think that this is pretty good. You got the Tower card at the very beginning at the bottom of the deck, but it's saying that something is changing, something is being destroyed, and this could just be by way of like it being Aries season and that those two Libra full moons being at 0 degrees and 29 degrees. That is the beginning and that is completion. And it's also completion and beginning. So the Tower card is here. You got the Wheel of Fortune speaking to the completion and the beginning, speaking to the Ace of Cups here. There's an opportunity that you need to receive, that you might want to receive, that you've been waiting for, right? To help you create something that's going to bring you more abundance. You have the fertile grounds to make something grow. And someone is going to see that and they're going to provide you with the opportunity to do that. You're going to be making bold plans in the future. You're going to be making bold choices in the future. That's actually going to bring more energy into your life. It's going to bring more vitality in your life. You got the sun too. The strength card came up. It's talking about finessing things, making things work, coming from the heart, right? Really understanding what that means. Okay? Not letting pride or ego get in the way. It's also understanding that, there's a part of you that has changed and there's a part of you that will also constantly be changing. Money is fluid. Understand that. Money comes and it goes, right? I love you, Leos. Venus and Leo right here. Okay. um, yeah, you guys are great. Follow me on Instagram at NYC Kendrick, at Providence Tarot, of course, at Kendrick NYC, and I'm also the tongue pop. Yes, let me know how you guys feel about. Love you too. Let me know how you guys feel about the Loving Proof series that I'm going to be doing. Love readings for the signs. And I'm not somebody that looks at love readings, but I will give them. I'll give you, it's kind of me getting into that water, putting my foot in that water. So it's new beginnings for you, Leo. And I haven't really titled I do know what it's going to be. Go with the flow of your heart. Okay? Love you, Leo. Come get a reading from me at Shanti Bookshop and Crystal Gallery on 14th Street between 2nd and 3rd Avenues on Sunday from 12 to 4 or 5, okay?